to stop in and visit them. West Side Decorating Center. Good morning to you. Welcome to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. And we're going to talk a little sports. We're going to talk softball, a lot of softball, but we're going to talk about the use of a facility which has had some very, very gentle rehab work done to it. And it's part of the legacy projects that came out of the Memorial Cup in Saginaw. And that was a couple of $1 million being spent on Hoyt Park. We have a couple of folks with us this morning to talk about it. First of all, the park coordinator among his other duties in life. He is Chris Ramos. Good morning.
I'm sorry, Chico Ramos.
Chico. I don't know where I got that Chris from, Chico. I had Chico right in front of me. And also with us from the Great Lakes CVB, he's responsible for sports marketing, and he is Tim Shelton. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, Art.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
So let's talk, first of all, after the Memorial Cup and when Hoyt Park became one of the legacy projects, and Dick Garber was really the spearhead of all of that. There was a couple of $1 million laid on the table. How much of it has been spent? How much is left to be done to the park, or is it done?
It's not quite done yet. We're kind of like in our third phase. The first phase of Hoyt Park was to redo the road, which was very important. We knew that the road was access to Hoyt Park. So part of that also money came from was the ARPA funds, was able to fix part of that road as well. So far at Hoyt Park, what we've done so far, we built 2 pavilions. One is the pavilion on the north end of Hoyt Park. And that is something that Dick Garber wanted to make sure that was something that was already there prior, that was rebuilt. And then we put one at the lower pavilion that was provided by Larry Breathauer. And those projects are completed. They resurfaced all the fields at Hoyt Park to make them playable. They had to be resurfaced since the Loons came there in 2000, I think it was 5. So those projects are completed. Right now we're in our third phase, which is we're putting new bleachers with canopy tops and new dugout tops for all the diamonds.
Were there any additional diamonds built?
There was. Diamond 1 was there, and it was been refurbished. New fencing, new fields, and kids are already playing on it. So yeah, it's great to see. Hoyt Park looks amazing right now.
And, the other question is, you spend this money on a facility like Hoyt Park, and the question always is it getting used?
Yes.
Was it worth it? The answer is a yes.
Yeah, so we've already had about 14 tournaments at Hoyt Park, and we draw thousands of people down there. And, the biggest thing was how to accommodate these people when you get here. So the initial meeting with Dick Garber was me and Larry Breathauer. And as I explained to Dick was that we are bringing a lot of people down here, and what we're trying to do is, we know these people spend money, and they go to our restaurants, they go to our hotels, and he says, "Hey, I need you to introduce you to Tim Shelton," and I'll let Tim take over from there, because that meeting really took off from there, and Tim has been a vital role on what's happening at Hoyt Park.
Well, thanks, Chico. Well, I certainly was very excited when Dick and Chico and Larry came to our office to talk about this. And for me, as a sports tourism director, this gave me another tool in my toolbox when I'm out selling the Great Lakes Bay region for sporting tournaments. So now baseball and softball is back in play in Saginaw. And we went to work right away making contacts with different organizations, including USA Softball, which is why we're here today to talk about new tournaments coming to the region, bringing new visitors, new revenue, new direct spending to the community. And we were very fortunate to land 3 tournaments for this summer through USA Softball. And I know, Chico, I think we have one coming up this weekend, right?
Yeah,
on the 12th.
Yeah.
So.
Well, let's talk about that one.
So we have the men's modified tournament. We haven't had men's modified in probably like 6 years.
So everybody understands, modify really describes the pitching style.
Right. It's 10 men modified, which is you're only going up to shoulder level. and pitching. It's not really the windmill. Modified's been around the state of Michigan for a long time. There's still teams out of Port Huron and Midland that still play men's modified. We would like to try to rebuild what we had in the past at Hoyt Park. Back in the day when I played, we had over 40 teams that played, and you need somebody to organize that, to bring those back, to bring those young kids to play modified. So at some point, if we can build on that here in Saginaw, and I think we have the facility to do it, and the partnerships throughout the county to get that started.
Yeah, it's one thing to bring teams in from the outside. It's another to have your own league and leagues right here.
Right.
Internal competition.
So it'll be this weekend. It'll be Saturday. First game started at 11, and then the last games, I think it was like 2:30.
Is there a charge for spectators?
No charge for spectators. We will have 2 food trucks on site for anybody that wants to. And then we sent I sent an email out to Darren of the USA Softball. I think he's the president or vice president, to let him know about the things that are happening in the community during that event.
So how many teams come in?
So right now we only have 4 modified teams that are playing. So they're kind of playing a round-robin modified tournament.
Where are these teams from?
Midland and Port Huron.
Okay, so these are Michigan teams.
Yeah, these are Michigan teams, yes.
So they still have modified around here.
They still have modified in Midland and Port Huron. I thought Lansing might have had a couple teams, but as of right now, Darren said they only have the 4 teams that are coming from the tournament.
So how many games will they play in the 2 days?
So they'll play. So it's going to be a 1-day tournament. They're going to play 3 games and then a championship game. So
each Saturday?
Each team will play each other 3 times, and then they'll have the championship game.
Are these 7 or 9 inning games?
These will be 7-inning games. Yep.
And full teams.
Full teams. Yep. Each team will have a full team, full rosters.
Can't imagine how many of us growing up played that kind of softball. I mean, when I came here in '74, I was on some softball teams for a while.
Oh yeah,
that was a long time ago.
Well, a lot of people, when they go down to Hoyt Park, there's a lot. I expect there's going to be a lot of spectators because I've gotten a lot of feedback through our Facebook page, Friends of Hoyt Park Facebook page, about a lot of the older guys that played modified that really want to come down and watch the game. We have Dave Schump, who was a longtime umpire here at Hoyt Park, who's actually going to be the tournament director for that tournament. And he's been around. He's the one that organized. When he left, men's modified really died. And so he's coming back to run that tournament, which is kind of exciting to see him come back. And maybe we can build something on that, on bringing men's modified back.
Now, you mentioned this is the first of 3 tournaments?
Yeah, so we have... So the 35 and over slow pitch tournament, they didn't have enough teams. But in 2 weeks, we have the men's fast pitch tournament. We don't know how many teams they have for that yet, but that is scheduled for the next 2 weekends.
Couldn't believe you couldn't find slow pitch. I mean, that seems to be the majority,
right?
Isn't it?
Yeah. According to Darren, that he said that a lot of teams weren't able to travel for that weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why they didn't
I was going to say, I would
teams.
think there'd be a plethora of slow pitch teams. And we still have slow pitch around here.
We do have slow pitch, and I was a little bit surprised that there were teams. What I'm hoping for next year is that it's not a 35 and over, that is 18 and over slow pitch. I think you would get more teams to play. So we're trying to attract a little bit, not just an older crowd, but a younger crowd as well.
You crawl before you walk, before you run.
Right. The biggest thing was to get USA Softball here. To see the facilities, look at what we have.
Did they come in and look?
They're going to be here on Friday. They're going to be here on Friday to look.
Where are they headquartered?
They're headquartered out of Holland, Michigan.
They're in Michigan.
Yeah, here in Michigan. But they have nothing on this side of the state, and they want to build something on this side of the state to get a softball going.
In our first call with them, Darren had stated, we really would like to find an east side home. And that's what we're trying to build here, is an east side home for softball. And like you said, you crawl before you walk.
It takes time, It takes time, but at least you're doing it. I mean,
absolutely.
If you don't start to crawl, then you never finish.
Yep.
Right. Right now, we have a lot of travel teams that come. So, we do have tournaments, but we want to also not just have the tournaments for the younger kids. We want adults to be involved in it, whether it's co-ed softball. For women, we want women down there at the park playing ball. Men's fast pitch, slow pitch.
I got to tell you, women's softball has taken off.
Yes.
It's all over ESPN and others on television, and I think it's called the AUSL, but I'm not Athletes Unlimited Softball League or something. It's females. I watch some of those gals play ball, and I'm going, whoa.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, you see some gal unloose an 85 to 90 mile an hour pitch, you're going, whoa, and they're only 42 feet from the plate.
Yeah, and they got these young ladies starting at 8U, playing 8U travel ball, and by the time they get to their senior year, they're pretty good.
Oh yeah, they're no more than pretty good. They're darn good.
Yeah. So and there's been a change in college softball where if you play 2 years of junior college, you still have 4 years of eligibility to play college ball at a Division I level or even Division II.
All right, we're going to take a break, come back, talk more about Hoyt Park and all the things going on down there, and maybe a little more on sports tourism, too. We've just had some rather significant sports tourism in Midland. We'll talk about that when we return.
We're proud to make...
The volunteerism, all of these things create community pride.
It puts you on a world stage.
It does, and these events, exactly, for us as a regional destination marketing organization, it does. It creates awareness for our region, right? We can bring people in and entertain them and let them see what we're doing at the Dow Championship, not only there, but have an opportunity to talk with them about the other facilities we have.
So when you go and talk to a sports organization about bringing their tournament to Midland, or the Great Lakes Bay region, we should say, really, are they aware? They know much about the area?
It depends on the sport. We're trying to reach out on some of these non-traditional sports that maybe they have not heard about.
So
curling,
I was going to say, when's the national curling tournament coming?
Right. We had the college national championships last year. But those organizations, they knew about the Midland Curling Center. So to answer your question, it's a little bit of both. We're certainly known for our grass field type sports, baseball, softball, soccer, very strong, and a lot of activity in those areas. And let's not put hockey on the back burner here. Well, I was going to go to that. Hockey obviously is very big for our region, and we talk about the large events that we all see in the media. But I know, based on the reports through the MEDC, the latest annual report was 2023. Our region had over $900 million in direct spending impact from tourism. We know that almost 40% of that was due to sports tourism. And it's not just the Dow Championships and the Memorial Cup, it's the weekend soccer tournaments, the weekend hockey tournaments, now the weekend USA softball tournaments. That's a big portion of that 40%. So it's large, it's small, and our region, Bay, Midland, and Saginaw County, all have a uniqueness to them, but they're all working together as well.
I'm not sure, unfortunately, that the people who live here appreciate what they have. And let me put it this way. I'll take it out of the realm of sports for a minute, then I'll come back into sports. Let's say, if we look at Saginaw Bay and Midland counties, we'll leave Isabella out for now, about 400,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
Where in the United States can you find a city of 400,000, 2 symphony orchestras, several art museums, several theater companies, several choral societies, and now we bring in the sports?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do those communities have a curling center?
Right.
A professional baseball team? The #1 developmental hockey league? No. Do people realize just how much is sitting here? Add to that the softball diamonds that we have all over the region, including Hoyt Park. We're blessed.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many people stop and think about that.
100%. And that's what we're doing in our organization.
That's your job.
That's we're advocating for that. But what we talk about when we have prospects, organizations, is we're small, but we're large in a lot of ways. We have the big city amenities, like you said, the theater. We have great sporting events. We're very affordable. We have proved that we can host a national event more than just once annually, and we have a volunteer force of at our hands of over 1,200.
Well, it was over 1,000 for the Dow. It was about 1,000 for the Memorial Cup. You don't do it without them.
Oh, absolutely not.
And the other thing we've proven is not only can we do them, but we can do them at the highest level.
Absolutely.
Every general manager in the Ontario Hockey League that came to the Memorial Cup in Saginaw said it was the best they'd ever been to. Mm-hmm. And they want to come back.
They do want to come back.
They want to come back. They want to know when Goslin's going to put in the paperwork. And we all do. And every 4 years, every 3 years, really, it comes around. So it's just a matter of time. And that's the kind of quality we turn out here.
Yeah. Yep. And, right now, today, as I sit here looking at Chico Ramos, you cannot do these events with passionate local organizing committees. And this USA Softball would not have happened without Friends of Hoyt Park, folks like Chico and Anne Marie, Larry, working on these things. You just can't do it without that help.
Any list is a list of omission. Didn't mention the Midland Tennis Center.
Sure. Yeah.
Tennis Classic.
Yeah,
keeps adding up.
Yeah, we're going to host a major pickleball tour event in August, and that's due to investment into a facility. Like the investment in Hoyt was able to open up opportunities now.
Garber Courts has pickleball.
Garber Courts. We have 7 new courts in Midland.
Yep.
At the tennis center, and we have APP Tour coming. This was an event that was supposed to be in Los Angeles.
That's the professional pickleball tournament, right?
It is. It's professional and amateur. It's 5 days, has professional and amateur.
Wait, this was supposed to be in Los Angeles?
It was supposed to be in
How do you snatch something out of Los Angeles?
Well, because of the hard work from Jeff Reckaway and our organization, we had developed a relationship, and so they called us when Los Angeles had to back out. They called Jeff and said, "Hey, are you interested?" They knew that the tennis center could do an event, right?
Yep.
They, we tell them about all the great things we have in the region. They had already visited, and so the key is just building those relationships.
That's an important factor, to get them here so they can see it.
That's right.
I had a conversation many years ago, the first year of the Dow Championship. I was standing on the patio at the Midland Country Club with Jim Fitterling. And I said, "Jim, all right, you're spending X millions of dollars on this tournament. Why?" And his answer was pretty straightforward. He said, "Look, puts me on a world stage. If I can get people here, I can keep them here." Talking about employees, because obviously they needed employees. High-tech employees. If I can get them here, I can keep them here.
Absolutely. Sports events is great for recruitment. All of those non-financial type benefits.
All right, we're going to talk more softball tournament, I promise, when we return. But there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on in this region. We'll be back to do it after these notes.
Making your summer travel.
That Hoyt Park. Originally, Hoyt Park had 8 when they redesigned the park, and I think it was either late 90s and early 2000s. They decided to put in 6 diamonds, refreshed diamonds.
And when you have a tournament, how many of the diamonds get used?
Oh, they're all being used.
They're all being used.
Every diamond is being used. The diamond 1, which is the refurbished diamond, really is for little leaguers. That diamond's about 175. It could be close to 200, but we use that for a lot of the 8U travel teams that come down.
So fencing is closer in.
Yeah. We have portable fencing. That's one of the things that we brought in was portable fencing. Is something that the softball organizations wanted when they come in. So for girls softball, we have 200-foot fences. For men's fast pitch, we have 250-foot fences that we can put anywhere on any diamond at any time. So it was one of the great amenities that we have at Hoyt Park.
So the diamond is flexible then.
Yes, very flexible.
That's really neat.
So we have 2 diamonds that are 300 feet, that are diamonds 4 and 5 with the warning tracks. Diamond 6 is about 290. Then we have diamonds 2 and 3 are about 265 and 285 at the center. So yeah, they're really, really adjustable to what we need them to get.
Do you get a lot of baseball?
Yeah.
at the
So
field?
the baseball, we do have baseball tournaments there. It's really 13 and under. Anything over that, those 14-year-old
Yeah,
kids they're bombing them over the
They're-
warming
yeah.
house. Yeah.
Out of curiosity, do either of you remember the days of, I think it was called Veterans
Oh yeah.
Field?
Oh yeah. I played there before. Yeah.
Oh, did you really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Back modified was so big back then that
Yeah.
we had to play at Veterans Field. Yeah. So it's kind of sad that they tore it down when they did. That was a memorable site to play in. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have that or a field like it back
Oh
again
yeah.
with stands and
Stadium Field. Yeah. I think that's where the Saginaw Bears played, right? Saginaw Bears.
I think
baseball
that's right.
team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The baseball team. Yeah.
So yeah, it's too bad that's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, you tend to lose those things, and they're very difficult to bring back
Right. Right.
once
It
you
is.
lose them.
Right.
So the tournament this weekend, Saturday,
Saturday.
from 11 o'clock on.
11 o'clock on. Yeah.
And how long do you think it'll take to get through the games?
The last game I think is at 2:30, but it'll probably be till like
It's
3
all-
o'clock.
all
Yeah.
daytime.
It'll all be all daytime.
Do you have lights down there at all?
We do. We actually refurbished the lighting, so we have LED lighting now down at Hoyt Park.
So you can light a field?
Oh well, we can light 3 fields perfectly. Like I said, they're all new LED lighting. They're proposed to put lighting on Diamond 5. I'm not sure where we're at with that. That's probably still into our idea to put that in, to have 4 lighted diamonds for a night games if we need. We have used them this year. If our tournaments run a little bit late, we do turn on the lights.
Let me ask Chico how the public can get involved with Friends of Hoyt Park.
So they can go to our Friends of Hoyt Park Facebook page, and usually if they want to volunteer, we have where they can go to our website. They can set up a volunteer if they want to come down to Hoyt Park. We usually have a volunteer day down at Hoyt Park, usually in April, where they can come down and volunteer at the park. We do have a partnership with the Saginaw IC where we have 4 or 5 high school students that are down there during the summer, and they're working, and they're paid through the state, and they come down and they clean up the park there.
Partnership with the ISD. Do you
Yeah.
know anybody that works there?
Oh yeah, that would be me. Yeah. So that partnership's been going on with Larry. I connected with Larry about 20 years ago when I got the position there. That's how can we work together to make Hoyt Park better? And it started initially like in 2005 when the loons came down and refurbished the park because the city didn't have a recreation budget,
Right.
and the park sat idle for 4 or 5 years. And when Larry and his group came in, the volunteer group, that's when I initially came in during that same time, and really worked with the loons and refurbishing a lot of those fields. And that partnership with Larry continued on from there.
Tim, let me ask you this: as a sports tourism director going out and selling sports tourism, as you look at the Great Lakes Bay region, what's missing? What's on your dream list of what you'd like to have?
I think we're looking at indoor facilities that can accommodate basketball, volleyball is something we could compete in if we had those facilities. And I think there's some thoughts out there of potential development in those areas.
Don't you have a certain amount of that with like SVSU and their field house and stuff like that?
We do, and we work with all 3 the colleges, universities. What we run into there is availability a lot of times. I'd love to see Saginaw have another sheet of ice, perhaps. We bring in these large tournaments. We do have a great partner at the Saginaw Bay Ice Arena, but quite honestly, a lot of these large tournaments, they want ice right there next, in the same facility. And then, the non-traditional type sporting events. We have opportunities in fencing. We mentioned curling. We have the facility there. pickleball, we need to play on our advantage there as far as our the number of pickleball courts we have.
So let me ask you this:
Lacrosse.
have we figured out how to capitalize on esports? We've got Northwood University sitting there, the world champs of everything.
Yep.
And you wonder if we couldn't capitalize on esports.
Well, I mentioned earlier to do these type of events, whether it's sports, esports, you need local passionate leaders. And we have one at Dow Diamond, Chris Mudhank.
Yep.
Dow Diamond this summer, in September, not summer, I guess, early fall, is hosting the first ever Field of Frames Fest. Press release has already gone out. This is going to be a large esports event. It's going to have college, high school. It's going to have a trade show element, educational element. Field of Frames Fest. Google it. Check it out. They're planning to build this to be one of the largest esports events,
And they'll succeed.
in the Midwest. He even quoted, "We want this to be as big as, say, the Dow Championship, right?
Yeah.
As far as attendance." So.
And they've got that beautiful diamond that
Right.
goes unused once, other than shows they put in there and things.
And
So
Northwood and SVSU's esports
Sure.
programs will be involved, absolutely.
Northwood is the king of the hill.
We're excited about this one.
All right, we'll take our last break and be back.
Reliable plumbing and heating.
All right, in a couple of minutes remaining as we talk to Chico Ramos, who is the park coordinator for the Friends of Hoyt Park, Tim Shelton, who is the director of sports tourism for the Great Lakes Convention and Visitors Bureau. It really has the potential to be nonstop year-round, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Because when there's no ice, it's outdoors. When there's ice, we can figure it out. And ice includes curling.
That's right. Yeah.
And it really is, it's continuous.
Yeah, we have a world senior curling tournament coming up in November in Midland, which we'll be pushing out more information on that soon as well. So, yeah, we've got all 12 months covered, I think.
Which is good. I mean,
100%. Yeah.
it always annoys me when I hear people say, "Oh, there's nothing to do."
No.
Open your eyes. Look around.
Yeah.
There's plenty. So what else is happening down at Hoyt Park? We got the tournament this weekend.
We got the tournament this weekend, and then we have a break, and then the last weekend in July we have the men's fast pitch tournament. We don't know how many teams yet. We'll get with Darren soon to see how many teams we have for that. Hopefully, I do know there's going to be some teams from Frankenmuth playing in that tournament, so there's going to be some local teams in that. So which is kind of nice to see. And
all of these, in terms of spectatorship, are free to the public.
Free to the public, yeah. We do not charge for any of those gate fees, or I know some tournaments that you go to, they charge a astronomical gate fee. We don't charge a gate fee for any teams that come down to Hoyt Park.
So everybody understands, how is the park supported financially?
It's supported through a lot of our tournaments. So we reorganize a lot of how we structure those tournaments and how what we charge for teams that are coming in for our tournaments.
So
right
use
now,
of the facility.
for use of the facility. So that really supports a lot of what we do. Larry Breathauer, Anne Marie, and Brian Lecco have been awesome to work with in writing grants to help support our infrastructure at Hoyt Park. Without them three supporting Hoyt Park, I don't think we'd be where we're at right now. So we depend on a lot of grant funding to help support Hoyt Park, a lot of the tournaments that pay for, and we're a nonprofit. We're not trying to make an astronomical amount of money, but to keep a park like that running, we do need funding. We do need volunteers.
Somebody's got to pay the light bill.
We got to pay the light bill. We got to pay the
bill to get it mowed and all that stuff.
Yeah, mowed. Right now we have a volunteer that cuts our grass for free.
Yeah, we still got to put gas in the mower.
Still got to put gas in the mower, to buy new equipment. That was the biggest thing is buying new equipment for the park to make sure that the park, and when people come in and see the park, they're like, "Oh my God, this park looks amazing." If you go down the park today, we had. The city was down there yesterday. We had all our volunteer groups down there because we knew we had a tournament. We have 20 kids, 25 students from Heritage High School soccer team coming down tomorrow to help clean the park for this tournament this weekend. So the park is going to look amazing. Is it where I want it to be? No. I think when our last phase of the park is completed with the bleachers, the canopy tops, the dugout tops,
Well, it's
I think
be
it's
a
going to
whole new look.
Yeah, it's going to look amazing.